afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my first time doing this. Yes, my first time, but I seek God, I talk with Him, and I talk about this program, and it seems as if this is the right time. So, what is this program about? Reasoning with Steff. Yes, so we are going to be reasoning. A lot of reasoning we are going to be doing. But to reason with you, I'm going to be encouraging you too. All right? So, what I want you to do for me though is to like, share, and subscribe down below. All right? Go ahead and do that. So this evening, I have to tell you about my life story. I can't cut my 10 like some of you, Yes, man, but I am going to be talking to you about life, about what is happening in life, and how to go about overcoming. So you have set some goals. Yes. Talk to me, no man. Didn't you set some goals? Yes, man, you set some goals. And what happened with those goals that you set? You just put them down and have them sit down there, so because get to start, get to do what you want to do, and you just leave it and you just grow old and not do what you want to do. No, you are not going to be doing that right now. You're going to persevere. You're going to push. In life, I have this one motto: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I am going to tell you about doing all things because Christ is in the vessel and I can smile at the storm. Yes. All right. So let me start. So I wanted to be well educated, but I did not do 6 C's in school. No. And I have to tell you my life story to tell you how I come about not doing 6 C's. I am not like one of those persons who my parents had it. In the 80s, they have a massive redundancy, and my father was one of them who got redundant from the Ministry of Agriculture at the time. But I did not sit down. I knew that I set my goals, and I wanted to complete what I have started, wanting to learn. I was enthused. Is that the right word? Yes, man. I wanted to do more. I didn't want to just sit and life goes on, and because I didn't get to do 6 in school, I'm just going to sit there. No. So today I'm encouraging you, not just young persons, but older persons who you might even reach my age now. Because guess what? Life don't just treat you fair at all times. You have to push and push and push and push for it to be fair. All right? So I wanted to do 6 C's in secondary school because I didn't go to high school. I went to Maypen Secondary School. Now it is called Central High, but it was secondary at the time. So I did not have the opportunity to go to a high school like some of you. But knowing myself, knowing what I can do, at the time I knew that I love maths. I was a maths person. So anything maths, you call my name. So I was so interested in anything that you call maths that as you put it on the board, I could work it out at the time. From primary school coming up, that's how I find myself. And any teacher that come across me can tell you that if it is maths, you're talking about me. All right? So I had a teacher at the time at grade 6, Miss White, and she used to allow me even to mark books at the time. So from those times, I know that I was destined for greatness. Maybe I was destined for the classroom, but I didn't have a classroom in my mind yet. Classroom wasn't my purpose. I wanted to become a nurse. But after a while, I realized that nursing wasn't for me either. So, because of being fearful of seeing blood and certain things that have to do with nursing, having to do with nursing, like the vomiting and all those things, I realized after a while that I could not manage that. Because even if I've gone to the hospital to look for anybody, and I try my best to keep into my lane where I went, and when I'm going to look for anybody in the hospital, I can't encounter the vomiting and all those things. So I knew at the time that nursing wasn't mine, but I had in mind to be a nurse. Yes, man, I wanted to be a nurse. So as I'm telling you my story, going through school in college, I could not go to college because I did not do any CXC. So graduating from Central High, I sit at home for a while. I went to work for a while. There was this supermarket in Negril called Negril Wolf Club Supermarket. I was working there. And then in Westmoreland, yes man, I went to Westmoreland and I was staying with my bigger sister. And she's a tower of strength to me. That sister's Pastor Christine Nelson. I can call her name. She's my tower of strength. She's a sister to copy, copy carbon. Yes man. So she's a teacher too. So I copy everything about her. Right? So I follow her footsteps. So I went to Westmoreland to live with her after I left school, and I started working at the Negril Wolf Club Supermarket. But let me tell you my story. Going to school, my parents didn't have it. I used to have to walk from Paisley to Maypen to school, or when I was going to Cross College, I walked from Paisley to Cross to school. And a lot of us do it because we have company, so we could have do it. It could be done, right? So we walk to school and we walk home in the sun hot. Midday when you get lunchtime, sun hot, man. I am telling you, man, sun hot. But I walked home, and guess what? I lived with my father and my grandmother at the time, and my grandmother in the evening used to have us baking cornmeal pudding or potato pudding. Yes. And we used to have to pick up hood to put underneath it, even look hood to cook too. Because we didn't have the facility of gas stove like now. It's kerosene stove or coal pot or wood fire. Most of the time it would be wood fire for us. So we used to have to bake the pudding in the evening. And when we bake the pudding in the evening, yes, we have a piece of the pudding in the morning with a little black tea. And in the afternoon, when we get home from school, is a piece of pudding with little lemonade again. Sometimes no lime no in it, so we can't call it lemonade. We call it sugar and water. I don't know if you remember sugar and water, yes? So we used to drink sugar and water for lunch with the piece of pudding. Now, one little piece of pudding, and you have to satisfy with that. You must satisfy with that until dinner time. Or you go pick one mango if it's mango time, or you go look to guinea if it's guinea time, and you have that, yes, because you don't have anything else, because your parents could not afford it at the time. But I persevere all of that. All right. So I left school and I went to Westmoreland and I work at Negril Wolf Club, but I came back home and I started having children to Clarendon, and I started my family with my now husband, who at the time wasn't my husband, was my spouse. But when you start having children, know your goals that you set. My goals that were set, I could not achieve them because now what little I have to go to the children. I have to send them to school. I have to buy clothes. I have to buy food. I have to pay rent. I have to pay bills. So where the money going to come from? And my husband is the only person, the only breadwinner in the family, and he didn't want me to work, you know. But because I feel like I must be independent, so I started to make a little candy, grate a cake, drops, anything, cupcakes, anything that I knew that could sell. And I would go to Mandeville, I'll go to Spanish Town, I'll go to Frankfield, I would go to the schools, James Hill, and I would sell those things, and I would come back home. And I would, you know, those little money, you know, they would help in the house to send the children to school or to pay some farmer bills and to buy food. All right. So because even though my husband is working, he's little much, you know, all the time people say one hand can't clap. No, you have to clap both of them. So at the time I clap both hands. So you put one hand together with the next one and you clap both hands. That's how it was. And at the time, it was hard. I'm not telling you that it was easy. But there comes a time too when the schools didn't want you to sell on their compound, and it gets a little harder to mature, to do what you want to do. So at the time I had to stop selling and look at job. And I started to look at job, and the job that I got at the time was to work as a security officer. Lord, you jump out a frying pan and you jump in a fire. You hear that? Then old time people, proverbs, they jump out a frying pan, you're bound to jump in a fire. Well, me jump in a fire then, because at the time you get a security job, you can go school. And the first thing that they told us is that we will not be able to go to school if we know that. And knowing me, I want the work, so I say, yes, I know. So I got the job and I started working. And I worked for a couple of years and I realized that I am stagnant. I can't move from where I am, and this is not going to help me. So guess what I did? I got the CXC syllabus at the time. I can't remember the friend's name that told me that it was sold somewhere in Maple, and I went and I bought the syllabus. And after buying the syllabus, I started to go through books. Human and social biology was the first subject that I did. And I did it with English language, but I didn't pay the English language any mind, because I felt that English language was one of those things that you could have just go in an exam and do it, because if you know the language, you will be able to complete the subject. All right. So at the time I did human and social biology. Yes. And I did English. I don't want to tell any answer. I did the English. And when I paid to do them, I was working at the time at Clarendon College as a security officer. So there, and I had teachers who encouraged me there. One such teacher, Miss Tyndale, that's her name. Miss Tyndale would give me her human and social biology papers that she used in her classes at the time, and I would use them to help me to study, because I realized that I couldn't go to school because I was working. So, but I needed something, so I paid for the exam to do them at the school, because at the time they have an evening program going on. They have evening classes there. So at the time I did the subjects. I did maths. I paid for maths, and I paid for human and social biology at the time. And I went and I do them. I asked them a day off and I did the subjects. I didn't get much time to study or to read, but I decided that I need to do something in my life. And what I found out, as I tell you before, I wanted to do nursing, and I realized that I couldn't manage it, but I must do something. So going to college, I found out there are children there that wasted a lot of time, and sometimes because of how teachers have it difficult, they not even miss some of those children from the classes. And I remember this one girl that every day almost I have to talk to her about skipping classes, and that kind of tension encouraged me to move on to teachers college, where I'll be able, after talking to some of those students, to help them out of their dilemma, out of struggling because they don't like a teacher or they don't like a subject area, and so they use that to hide from class. That encouraged me to go to college. I remember one day some students came to me with an accounts paper, because I tell you that I eat and I dream and I sleep maths. Yes. And I said to them, they say, it's hard, man, it's hard. We couldn't do it. And I said to them, just give me a chance. I'll do this accounts for you, and tomorrow I bring it back and I'll tell you. I'll show you the answer and what I did. And I went home the night and I sit and I did it, and I think I did the balance sheet and I balance off that account for them. And when I take it back to them the day, they say, Miss, then what are you doing here? You need to go to college. And that too gave me a push in the direction. Because when they take the accounts that I did, the accounts worked out to their teachers, and they found out that it was correct, they had to come back to me. So I did the 2 subjects and I got the human and social biology. That was my first CXC subject. I did not get the English. But I decided I must do the English again. So I sit the English now, because I started, if I get one, I decide that if I get one subject, I can continue to get the subjects that I need, even though it is going to take me a longer time. Remember, I tell you now that I set a goal. So my goal was to be educated. My goal was to have CXC, to get a good job, or to go to college. My goal was to not sit down and say that because I am working as a security officer, I can't do anything else. My goal was that I must show somebody else that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You can't be a Christian. You can't be serving God and sit down and not work on your goals and not putting God in the vessel that you can smile at the storm. All right? So God was in my vessel. And I decided at the time, because my children had gone through school now, They have gone through school, and I think I'll bring them to where they wanted to stay, because they too did not get any CXCs in school. And one of my sons will be coming on this program, Reason with Steff, to tell you about his perseverance too, to encourage somebody that is young like him. Well, I'm encouraging both young and old. I'm not going to sit down and just say I'm encouraging the old persons and not the young. Yeah, man, I want to encourage you young people to push towards your calling, push towards your higher mark. Yes, don't just sit down and be stagnant where you are at one place. No, you must push. All right. So I did push. I did persevere. How did I persevere? I continue. When I got a one subject, man, me feel happy. You can't happy like, because girls study by their own. Yes. A girl get one subject after doing it on her own. I am pushed now towards doing 2 more. So now I'm going to do accounts, and I'm going to do back my English language, and I'm going to do social studies with it. But I am going to be switching locations. So I'm going to a different security firm. I'm going to leave the company that I am with. I'm going to work with a different company. And my dear child, I paid for the subject, and at the time I had to do SBA for social studies. So I did my SBA, and I have to pay the teacher that is doing the evening class at the time to mark my SBA. And she got the SBA before my first draft, before anybody else got theirs. Yes, giving theirs. So I'm expecting now, even though I leave the job, somebody was there who would take back the SBA to me. I paid her to mark it, take it back to me, and that I can complete my draft. Remember, I tell you now, I'm not a language person, so I needed to do some corrections. I needed to work with her in doing the corrections. And I went on and I gave it to her. Guess what happened? The lady lost my SBA. She didn't know where she put it. And about 2 days before the grades must go in, and I called her. She said she was trying to call me. You can't listen to me? So guess what? I had to print back the same first draft and send to her. When I called her now to find out about my grades for the SBA, you know what she told me? Miss, you have to go work hard in the exam, because you didn't get a good grade. You get, I think, only 17 or something like 18, 17 on the SBA. So you know that me spell failure there. So you know that I was discouraged. You know that I decided not to do the exam. You know that me tell myself that me not doing it. Yes, I did. So after telling myself that I'm not going to do the social studies, even though I paid for it, you know, I paid for it, but I was vexed. So I spend all my time doing accounts only. I eat, sleep, dream accounts. Not even English language that I paid for, I looked at. I tell you, I eat, I sleep, and I dream accounts. So every little spare time I get, I work through every accounts problem. I try to know every format. I try to know where this must go on your account, on your debit and credit sheet. What you must do with the sales account. What you must do with the balance sheet. Me tell you what you must do with the manufacturing account. I learn everything at the time, because I only think I need to do accounts. And there was this teacher, I am not remembering her name, Miss Tyndale, I'm not sure, at the school that I used to work as a security officer. She helped me in marking my SBA. She helped me through the SBA for accounts, and she helped me in marking the SBA. So I sleep and I dream accounts. All right? And I went to do the exam. So tomorrow I did if me go do social studies, and I decide so me never do it, you know. But me pay my money already, so it's like today now. I hear a little voice say to me, say, why you not put them people here to shame, man, and go do the social studies? So guess what I did? I took up my social studies book when I went home from work the night. Yeah, because I asked for that time to do the exam, even though I said I wasn't going to do it, don't it? So I asked for the time to do the exams, and I went home the evening and I took up the social studies book. Who you think I consult about it? I consulted God. I locked my husband out of our room and I consult God. And I went on my knees and I said to God, God, I don't know, but something tells me that I need to do the exam tomorrow. You see, any page that I must not read tonight, don't allow me to waste time and reading. You see, anything that is coming on the paper, Lord, just direct me to those pages. Have you ever read a book and the book sweet till you can't stop? Well, that was how I felt that night reading the social studies book. And when I reached to the back of the page, it's as if somebody was directing me. Yes, somebody was directing me. Because God himself was directing me. It's as if he was saying, don't read this page, turn the pages. Read that. Don't read this page, read that. And for that night I read the book. I got 2 hours sleep before the exam that morning. And I got up and I went to exam that morning. I wrote the sweetest exam. I could actually come out of the exam and tell you that that was on the paper and what I wrote because it was sweet. I believe that the paper to me was easy. So guess what now? Results come. Tell me who get grade 2 in a social studies. Not me. The girl that told herself that she wasn't going to do the exam. Tell me who get grade 2 in accounts. The girl that said that she was not going to do the exam. Social study and accounts, I got grade 2. But I got a grade 4 again for English language. Ah, Lord, but look here. I did not look at English language, so I could not expected to get anything other than the grade 4. Right? Could be grade 6, could be what they called it at the time, ungraded. It could be ungraded. I'm laughing at myself now. But I encourage you that even though you get 2 and 3 ungraded and 10 grade 5 and you can still do it. Because after seeing that, I decided that I'm going to do a resit. And I did the resit in January. And as I said, I'm not a language person. I got a grade 3 in English language. I remember me tell you, because I am not a language person, I still not look at it, you know. I still did not study. I still did not read up on anything. I just feel like I can go in the exam and I can pay attention to the exam and I can do it and I can pass it. So I went and I did it and I got a grade 3. And that here, I think most people complain of exam being hard. And it was hard. So this evening, I am telling you this to say that don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams because you can persevere. You can do it because God is in the vessel. You can do it because He promised never to leave you. You can do it because He is always here. I started now, because math is not something that you play with. So I end up with what? Human and social biology, accounts, social study, and English language. I have 4 subjects. But you know, you need maths. I say you need maths to go to college. And I tell myself from a long time ago, because of the way I am doing it, because of the way I am studying, because of the way not going to classes to sit before a teacher to do the subjects, I believe that I must leave mathematics for the last thing, and I must do it by itself. And even though I am a maths head, as I tell you, I am going to go to classes. Remember I tell you earlier that I have changed jobs. So this security, even though it's a security job, it allows me to go to classes. But guess what? I am going to go to classes, but I am going to go late most evening. Almost all the evening, me late for class. All 20 minutes when class soon finish. I am going to class. Almost all the evenings. But I went to class and I make sure to sit in their marathon, their maths marathon that they normally have. So I'd ask for those days that they have the maths marathon. I would take my days off when they have them. I'll take my days off to do the maths exam and the maths marathon. And normally they always have the maths marathon some weeks before the exams. So even though I've gone to classes in the evenings and I've gone late on some evening, when I reach, is may the saving grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is saying, yes, I still go. And I'll try to find out what was done for the day. And that's the only subject I've gone to class for. That is, remember I tell you, that I am a maths head. But because I know math is something that you have to practice, because if you don't practice maths, you will forget everything. So I continue to practice. Each time that I get a topic, I'll practice it in my free time. When I'm home, I would be practicing maths. I would be going through the books. I do every homework. I do every assignment just to get it right. All right? So I did maths and I got it. I got a grade 2 in maths. So guess what? The door is open for colleges now. And I wanted to interact with adult children. That's the grade 7 to 11. But God wouldn't allow that because I am working. I can't find money if you go pay if you left my job and go to college and go sit in a college for 4 years to complete and come out. And I did not decide to borrow student loan at the time or anything. So I started to I decided that I need to go to college, but I have to go part-time because I have to work. Right? Remember me have family, and even though my children now not going to school, I still have to take charge of their lives too, because I think at the time one of them was still going to high school and I wanted to complete college because I'm getting old. So me I go do part-time college, me have to start now because me old. And so me I tell myself, me I get old and me I check up the years then when me I go spend in a college and the years when me I go spend for teach. No, because a teacher's college me decide to go. Because my big sister teach and she too encouraged me to go to teacher's college because me say me can't do nursing. And she encouraged me too when I was doing the CXCs to continue to persevere. And she's my tower of strength, as I tell you. She's one of those persons who, while going to college and when hard times lick me skin, me can turn back to and say, sis, so and so. And she will say, "Mina, I know money, you know, but him, yes, she has stretched something. But me still have it hard." So I started looking for colleges and I found out about Catholic College of Mandeville, who does part-time course in Maypen, and it suits me because I am living in Maypen. And I applied and I was accepted. So I did not even apply to a next college. I was accepted there. I went in and I do their exams and everything, and I got called, and I thank God. Wow, college was hard. But that story is for the next show. So subscribe, like, share. Share for others to see and to subscribe to my channel so that you will know the story of the next time, the next life, the college life. And this one is going to touch you. This one is going to have you drawing even closer to Christ if you had not been close to him. This one will tell you about a lot of testimonies and a lot of troubles and a lot of trials that I've gone through to go through college. Have yourselves a wonderful time and just look out for the next episode, because this episode continues. Bye. Love you. Be good to others. Be good to yourself. Be good to Christ. Be good to your children. And make the right choice. Have yourself a wonderful evening.